Hey everyone, Kevin with the Samplist, back to talk with you about Woven Violin from Somerville Sounds, an expressive solo violin library with a focus on motion and texture. Woven Violin is an excellent tool for providing light underscore, subtle swells, and intimate string textures that work as well for cinematic music as they do in folk settings. This isn't a library that's been designed to replace your favorite solo violin VST, but rather a lifelike fabric that will bring vibrance and newness to your string bus when layered with your favorite solo and small ensemble string libraries. Woven Violin is an 8.2 gigabyte download you can get from Somerville Sounds website for $99. You can run this library in the free Contact player as long as you're running version 7 or higher. This video will explore the interface and some of the presets of Woven Violin before listening to a short composition I use the library to compose, and then wrap up with some closing thoughts. I want to thank Somerville Sounds for sending us a copy of Woven Violin so we could make this review and tell you all about it. While we receive these libraries for free, that doesn't in any way cloud our thoughts, opinions, or judgments. We're just working composers doing our best to support the hardworking software developers that enable us to make the music that we love to make. If you're enjoying our videos, please be sure to like and share them, and we'd also love if you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Now let's check out Woven Violin. That's our first patch that loads when we open Woven Violin. Let's see what else is here and what we can do with that. And then we'll take a closer look at the interface. So let's check out another preset, and then we're going to talk about what's here. Let's hear what I Hear Voices sounds like. And one more preset. So as you can see, there's some subtle changes that happen with this interface as I'm changing the presets. So that let's talk about those. Over here, you have the different effects that you can place on the Woven Violin sound, and turning each of these on and off respectively is just clicking the icon. And once it is illuminated, it's on. You have control over these parameters here. One thing that a lot of these settings have is a really, that plays a lot with delay, and that may not fit with your template. So you're going to want to get to know this. Maybe you want to turn it off. Maybe you want to control it. There's some really rad, different kinds of delay in here. Let's check out a couple of them on this patch right here. Let's see what drunk sounds like. Oh, that's really cool. There's an element of pitch shifting to that. I see why they call it. I see why they call it that. And how about, let's see. What's ocean floor sound like? That's pretty cool. So that's your effects area right over here. Mix here is just the mix of the close mic versus the room mic. If you want it to sound really close, that's pretty much right there in your face. Down here, you have articulation mode, and you can choose between weave and basic. We are on weave mode from this warp and weft preset, so we're going to leave it here and talk about this for a second. This line is a velocity threshold. So anything below this line is going to trigger a phrase, and if you want to change that, you can click on this menu. Anything above that velocity is going to trigger a chatter. Now, if you want to change that velocity threshold, you can drag this down. So there's a lot of options here for customizing. Let's load another preset. Now, because that C's not in the key of A, it was a C natural, it's yellow, and wasn't triggering a phrase. But if I move up to the C sharp, you can hear that any movement is ascending half step up to the diatonic D. Now you can also notice that maybe I may find it desirable to move the release down here if I want that. And we're going to hit an E. You can hear that release is much more realistic, maybe even just to mimic a little bit of change in bow pressure. I want to give it a little bit more. But that note was descending down, but descending down to another diatonic note, still in the same key, because I was triggering a note that was green. So that's how you're going to use the phrase key center. You can notice that it disappears unless I'm triggering a phrase. Now, if I want to get a look at singular articulations, instead of weaving based on a velocity threshold, I can use this to have solo pizzicato strings. Or rather, pizzicato strings from a solo violin. Now, shorts and pizzicato are a great way to sample reverbs. Some notes about the composition before we hear it. It's incredibly simplistic. I just layered a few different patches of Woven Violin against a simple chord progression played with a favorite piano sound I had here. The piece will show that even used with subtlety, Woven Violin is practically a must-have if you're working with solo and chamber-sized strings in your bus. It adds some great shades of color, even just using one note to add a little extra detail, especially in a longer tone during a cue, or add some movement to your longer chords. It's really something that infuses something really unique into your string bus. I called this piece Fogwind Grove, and I hope you like it. I honestly can't imagine not wanting to include this library in any string bus that has me favoring a smaller sized ensemble. Producers working with folk and indie artists will also love the way this library will blend in those settings. It works really great with acoustic instruments, so it's certainly not something that orchestral composers exclusively will want to incorporate. If you're a singer-songwriter looking for the perfect string textures, or if you happen to be producing one, this might actually be your new go-to for that. You may not need much more than that for the effect that you're desiring to infuse into your music. Orchestral composers will still need their favorite string libraries for legatos and ensemble sounds and all that sort of thing. But you're going to love the accents that Woven Violin has to offer, as it's a library that will undoubtedly expand the depth and breadth of your string bus, no matter what kind of project you're working on. I want to thank Somerville Sounds once again for sending over a copy of Woven Violin so we can make this video and tell you all about it. If you have any lingering questions about the library, please feel free to check out the walkthrough available on Somerville Sound's website. And once more, please don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel so you can keep clued in about other great digital instruments and plugins like this one. I'm Kevin with The Samplist, and I'll see you again real soon.